Alrighty guys, a few more pistol rounds for you guys to try out, this time on Cache. I mean, Cache isn't a super complex map, so most of these strategies are relatively basic, but they're all very good. To start off with here, you'll see Sean Garrett is trying to set a fake here. It's a nice little nade there, and basically what this nade does is just basically going to do exactly what you saw there. It's scared fur off. He's not going to want to peek anymore because he's down low, and if he's running into 2 or 3 Glocks and you're at 60 health, that's going to be bad news for you. So right now, obviously if we look at the map, we'll see everyone else from Misfits is looking at making sure no one's pushing middle, and then there's a little stack going on here which I never mind. I used to actually like running this when I was playing, because if anyone tries to push B, which is often something that happens quite a lot, you've got a double peek onto them, they're going to be struggling. So you'll see as this fake comes out from Sean, we'll see it's just a very standard smoke and then the very standard kind of pop flash here. And you see he's just going to come out here, and he's not gone too far actually, but you see he's still drawing the player. If we look at the map here, Fur's rotated off, they've got 3 around this area, Cold Zero is here, and they've got Taco left alone at B. So they've done their job right now. Got 1 player left on B, and that's all you needed to do, and that's basically the whole point of this pistol round. And he actually gets picked off through the smoke from Fur. If you see where Fur was, he was right there and he just spammed through the smoke. Now as Sean gets picked off, you'll see this is when everyone starts to pounce. They leave their positions watching mid and whatever. And yeah, Neck is going to just do a standard smoke and molly. And so I'm just going to show these straight away. So you see as he's smoking, and then he's going to Molotov, that's just for a default molly there. You see the rest of his teammates are going to go in. However, you notice with the timing of the nades, they're actually peeking before that. They know if they don't peek, the gig will be up and SK will start rotating in. So it's important not to wait too long while this smoke and molly are going off. The last important note with timing is they're not crossing here until the smoke blooms. You see they peek Taco early, but they're not going to cross CT until the smoke blooms. 2 players going onto site, and then 2 other players are going to stay in the checkers area. Basically this is because they trust their fate, there'll be only 1 player left, and if you have this checkers control left, your after plant positioning is going to be a lot stronger and a lot harder for CTs to come in. And you'll see this exactly what happened. They get down to a 3v1 here, and they're just going to clean up shop. Fur's left, 29 HP. And yeah, a very simple strategy with a nice little fake from Sean Gers. But after that, it's just a few little minor timing things, but besides that, leaving 2 players in checkers, your after plant's going to be very strong, and you should hopefully win the round. Moving along to something thought up by someone at SK, probably Fallen, is this little B split basically with Cold Zero coming in through vent. And I'm not going to talk about it straight away, as you'll see the smoke he's thrown in a second. Just allows him to get out here towards vent. It's interesting smoke. I'm just going to talk about here what exactly this smoke achieves, which is basically the denial of information to FaZe. You'll see he can be out here without them knowing, but the thing is, Kiyoshima does watch this cross, but the problem is he's playing it a little bit risky. If he can sit out here and watch the cross here, which is fine, then they have no idea is he sneaking out this side. They don't know where he's going to do it. Basically, it just creates an extra angle. So if Carrick wants to sit out here and watch this side of the smoke, he can. He's kind of trapped out here, and he can always get pushed from boost. And you'll notice in the VOD, actually Carrick just ends up falling back like this. Kyo does swing out a little bit wide. He does check here. Luckily for him, Colt wasn't really looking to shoot him, he just wanted to cross fast. He could have possibly caught out here trying to watch the left hand side, and really it just adds an extra angle that the CT's team has to worry about, and just denies a lot of information exactly how far out they are and how close to vents they actually are. So when Colt does get to vents, he can very quickly jump in and be really quickly into checkers. Just to prove my point, this is how the CTs react. You see Carrigan's trying to swing out wide here, Kyo's trying to spam the smoke, and he ends up crossing. Cold Zero obviously not looking to shoot him, as I said. So while this is all going on, you see Fur is run boosting Phelps, basically to get the attention and going across this original angle and just make it a very hard shot to hit. Fallen's also throwing a very standard Molotov into the back of checkers, and then also smoking off the back of site. While this is going on, Cold's obviously coming out middle, as we saw before, and he's going to drop in here to help deal with the checkers players at the perfect timing as his teammates are going in. As you saw just before, his teammates are concentrating more on the actual site itself. That's how Rain's able to pick up 2 kills. However, Cold Zero drops in at the exact right time to deal with these trades and yeah, help his team get into a 3v3. Now again here, you'll notice with the afterplants, SK only setting 2 players onto site, very similar to Misfits. 3rd player alive instead of 4 this time is Cold Zero, who comes out to checks B main. Pushing through is something relatively common in pistol rounds, I'd say more so than gun rounds. Teams like to take A or B main control, as you saw again with that grenade Sean goes through at the start of their pistol round, trying to deter this. Stick comes back, Cold's position is very strong here to hold off Nico in the checkers. Fur being his aggressive self gets the pick there. You'll see here, Cold Zero is distracting Nico, which allows Fur to come in and get a relatively easy pick, as Nico has to worry about 2 different angles, and that's the round over. So a lot of A hits here, I guess in gun rounds as well. They can come out towards A, they can be a bit of a split, come out whatever, but in this particular one, FaZe are going to all split up here and basically hit this A site from 3 different angles if you include the squeaky door as a different kind of angle. So you have 2 players get boosted up here in the form of Rain and Olive Mice. You notice they're just launching opposite ways in case they counter boost. Rain has them covered, and Olive Mice has got anyone flanking. Guardian and Nico get ready to throw their nades. Guardian obviously going to throw a smoke here that misses. I think that's probably supposed to land behind red. Nico's going to smoke off just the default kind of area and then molly off this forklift position. Now, these nades are quite smart in a flash, but obviously the nades are quite smart, so if I have a little look here at what they've actually got going on. The entirety of the left side of the site's basically dealt with. Obviously the Molotov here means no one can possibly slip in and push along here and forklift and maybe shoot people in the back. So no one's allowed to do that. The smoke obviously covering off the one angle, and then Nico's in here in the squeaky door area, and no one's going to be peeking them over this angle as Nico wins that fight against Exist. So Carrigan and Guardian are basically allowed to just come out here, and all they have to concentrate is on this area, this opening right here between the 2 of them, and then they're able to push out around. And obviously as they get close, you'll see in a second Nico comes swinging out the door to deal with them. And yeah, pretty basic stuff in the end. And then the smoke at the back here is basically just to cut off rotates and get rid of this angle as they're possibly trying to move on to quad for better after plant positioning. So as the main part of this attack comes in, you'll see exactly that's how I said. Guardian's able to concentrate on that area. Nico picks off Exist, as you already saw. Guardian swings out again, and as they're getting close, Nico comes out the door and deals with the 3rd player there. Obviously they win a whole pile of aim duels, so they make it look a little bit easy, but I'm still impressed by their utility usage and positioning to isolate one side of the site. So you notice as soon as the smokes pop, Rain and Olive Mice jump over here, basically because this execute will probably pull the highway player off on a rotate, so they can probably catch him off guard. You see it's exactly what happens here. Rain catches a rotator off guard, and Olive Mice is able to swing in here, basically because they had so many players alive, and get the final kill onto a rotating forest. Obviously Olive Mice and Rain weren't really used that much in this situation, but you can see how their flank would definitely be useful in catching a lot of players off guard, and their timing involved with when their player would rotate off highway. So guys, that's it for this one. I actually got a Discord, so maybe check it out. I respond to a lot of questions, as you can see here. Actually talking to someone here about something on Inferno. So if you want to contact me, this is probably the best way possible. Also, because all my stuff's been demonetized because I want to switch network, and YouTube insists on doing a 3-week review of my channel where nothing can add adverts on it, I decided to launch a Patreon. So if you find my stuff useful and have a little bit of spare cash lying around and want to support me, that'd be much appreciated. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.